Come on, show the motherfuckers that you want this fight now. Show these motherfuckers that you get it. There we go. There we go. There we go. Make them combinations fast. Come on. Trust in your speed, son.
He got that killer instinct. He know what it takes to get it done.
4 minutes.
That's why it's easy training with him, because he trains so hard.
In terms of my training and my camp, I love combat. I love testing myself.
What's the word, Chris?
Did some cardio earlier.
No, Wednesday we got 12 rounds. 12 3-minute rounds.
Inside the training camp, the atmosphere is electric as Chris Eubank Jr. sharpens his skills under the watchful eye of his legendary father, Chris Eubank Sr. With the long-awaited Benn rematch on the horizon, the father-son duo is blending old-school grit with modern precision. Eubank Sr.'s trademark discipline and mental toughness are shaping JR's preparation, turning this camp into a masterclass of legacy and redemption.
This is my first full camp in Dubai. I've actually, I've wanted to train out here more consistently for a long time. It's the perfect environment. The gyms are amazing, the nutrition, the food, the sun. As long as you don't get distracted with all the distractions of Dubai, I think it's an amazing place to kind of focus and hone your skills in the fight world.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Work the rope. Work the rope.
As the rematch between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn approaches, the atmosphere inside Eubank's camp is electric. The result of their first showdown at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in April 2025 saw Eubank Jr. claim a unanimous decision over Benn after a bruising 12-round war.
It really took his time to get into this fight and find his range, but find his range he did. They just exchanged the rounds one by one. Eventually, Conor Benn looked like he was slowing down, but he found a second wind and managed to take it back to Chris Eubank Jr., particularly just with really aggressive punches. Chris Eubank Jr. working the body. Conor Benn trying to find that knockout punch. It was chaotic. A barrage from both fighters in those final few rounds, and so hard to call. On the fan scorecards, it was level, 114 to 114, and no one could separate these two. But you heard it there. Chris Eubank Jr. wins, and not only does that on unanimous decision, but does it to inflict Conor Benn's first ever professional defeat.
Eubank Jr. landed 367 of 912 punches. Benn landed 215 of 593, according to CompuBox figures. Despite being the older and more physically taxed fighter, Eubank Jr. prevailed. However, the weight cut and dehydration issues surrounding Eubank Jr. raised major concerns. He missed weight by 0.05 pounds before the fight, incurred a fine, and was hospitalized as a precaution after the fight. Eubank Jr. now enters the second fight as the favorite, intent on firmly putting Benn away this time. Meanwhile, his father, Chris Eubank Sr., remains a voice of both pride and caution. He is reconciling with his son, yet publicly questioning whether the rematch should happen under the same conditions as the first bout.
He wasn't just weight drained, they put a rehydration clause in. They fined him some £500,000 for coming in, 2 ounces over the weight. It was reported to me by Lawrence Lustig, who is a very famous photographer. Junior wasn't even sweating at the end of the fight. Dehydration. These rules are in place to save my son, to save the lives of fighters. Unfortunately, the reporters, the journalists are not doing their job. They're not holding them to account. Gareth Davis, do your job. Simon Jordan, you speak on boxing, do your job. You are not credible if you let these things happen. What you are is a jester. As I said after the fight, Conor Benn is an extraordinary fighter. Fighting at 156 or fighting a fighter at 160, he doesn't get back down to 147. And if he does, he's not the fighter he could have been. They are dangerous, they are reckless. If the Boxing Board of Control don't do what they're supposed to do, which is to block fights from happening which do not abide by the weights and the rules. You are baboons. I'm not a baboon, and I know this life. I've gone up to cruiserweight, fighting Carl Thompson. Watch that fight. Both of them, where you're watching one man who is almost twice the size of me. So it seems, I say this sparingly, seemingly killing me. And it looks like a fight because the smaller guy, me, has heart, and nothing is going to stop me. No threat. Nothing's going to stop me. I'm going to put a picture up of my eye. It looked like my eye was pregnant, giving birth. That's these promoters pulling me into a fight that I need for the money. So I say, no, I'll do it. But the Boxing Board of Control is not supposed to allow that to happen. So now when I speak on it for my own son, people say, oh, well, you know, he's overreacting. I'm not overreacting. I don't overreact.
Inside the training camp for Chris Eubank Jr., the mood is serious, sharpened, and refined ahead of his rematch with Conor Benn. In past weeks, Eubank's preparation has emphasized correcting the flaws that plagued his first encounter. He admitted that his victory owed as much to his will and experience as to physical superiority, and that he intends now to convert that into a more decisive performance.
Tell us a little bit about what that session involved and the benefits for him.
We call that the Xbox, 6 different stations. You got 3 coaches, you got 3 different obstacles to push you as far as your power shots, your speed, your slipping, your rhythm, your sprints, your endurance on throwing your power shots and stepping over. So we usually do that once a week to push the fighter, and then every week we go up.
Pick it up, pick it up. Keep pushing. Push. More. There you go. Almost there. Come on, let's go. Come on, Chris. Give it up. Come on. Go. Come on, keep it up. Time!
Eubank Jr. is training in Dubai, removing distractions and immersing himself in long sparring sessions and conditioning drills. He confirmed that while his father, Chris Eubank Sr., will be ringside as a figure of support, he will guide him during the training. His sparring partner revealed that Eubank regularly fights 4-minute rounds with only 30-second breaks, a step up not just for his physical endurance, but for his tactical consistency under fatigue.
This is my first full camp in Dubai. I've actually I've wanted to train out here more consistently for a long time. It's the perfect environment. The gyms are amazing, the nutrition, the food, the sun. As long as you don't get distracted with all the distractions of Dubai, I think it's an amazing place to kind of focus and hone your skills.
Junior has reunited with veteran coach Brian Bomac McIntyre, the same trainer who guided Terence Crawford to undisputed status, signaling that Eubank Jr. is not just content to repeat his first victory, but to dominate the sequel. McIntyre himself stated plainly, he already got his number. McIntyre praised Eubank Jr.'s attitude in the gym ahead of the rematch, noting how Eubank trains so hard and carries a genuine intent for winning. McIntyre emphasized that, unlike past camps, this time the preparation has full commitment and focus.
You know, we just keep grinding, you know, to the next fighter.
Did you get to make it back over for the victory parade?
Yes,
or
definitely we had to come back for the parade. You know, that was beautiful what the city did for Bud.
How was that? Yeah, because we've even seen other fights before where there's been a great turnout, but this looked like a whole new level, and so right, it should have been.
I can imagine probably close to 1 million people there, I would think. Man, it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Crawford's obviously enjoying some well-deserved time off, but has he spoken to you any more about what kind of next steps would be for him, what he wants?
No, not yet. We talked a little bit yesterday, but we didn't discuss anything about boxing. So we just making sure, I was checking with him, making sure the gym was going good, the kids was getting a good workout, and we're putting on another show for our up-and-coming fighters. So, you know, he's working on that, and while I'm working with Chris.
Working with Chris, exactly. You are back working with Chris Eubank Jr. You're with him for the rematch against Liam Smith. How did it come about, you coming back into camp with him for this one?
Well, while we was finishing up with Crawford, Chris's guys, they hit me up maybe a month out and asked me would I be, you know, interested. I told them, of course, right away, because you know, I felt like that me and Chris got a good repertoire together. We got a good relationship, and we come out with good results whenever we hook up.
The first fight drew upon the legacy of their fathers in the early 1990s, adding layers of history and emotion. The rivalry between Chris Eubank Sr. and Nigel Benn remains one of the most iconic in British boxing history. Their first clash in November 1990 was a high-stakes showdown that captivated fans with its intensity and drama. At the time, both men were in their prime. Eubank Sr., an undefeated, confident technician, and Nigel Benn, a ferocious puncher with a relentless style. The bout lived up to expectations, with Eubank weathering Benn's early aggression to stop him in the 9th round, seizing the WBO middleweight title. The previous clash between Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. has drawn comparisons to the iconic 2008 bout between Manny Pacquiao and Oscar De La Hoya. In the 2008 Dream match, Manny Pacquiao, then the reigning WBC lightweight champion, moved up 2 weight classes to face Oscar De La Hoya, a 6-division world champion. Despite concerns about the size disparity, Pacquiao's speed and precision overwhelmed De La Hoya, leading to a technical knockout when De La Hoya's corner stopped the fight before the 9th round. Similarly, the Benn vs. Eubank Jr. fight saw Conor Benn, traditionally a welterweight, stepping up to face middleweight Chris Eubank Jr., despite the size and experience advantage favoring Eubank Jr. Benn's performance was commendable, showcasing his power and resilience.
I will be putting a bag on Conor Benn, and here's why. I believe we've seen this type of fight before. The similarities are unreal. 2008. A 29-year-old Manny Pacquiao faced a 35-year-old Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya was the favorite in that fight against Manny Pacquiao because not only was Oscar De La Hoya an experienced and fantastic fighter, he was just naturally the bigger man, and they thought Manny Pacquiao was insane. Chris Eubank Jr., as the bigger man and skilled fighter, people are seeing him as the favorite. And me too, I am predicting a Chris Eubank Jr. win. But where I'm going to put my money is going to be on Conor Benn because of the history, the similarities of what we saw in 2008 with Manny Pacquiao and Oscar De La Hoya. No, Conor Benn is no Manny Pacquiao, but don't get it confused. Chris Eubank Jr. is definitely no Oscar De La Hoya.
Fraser Clark shared his thoughts on the intense bout between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn, expressing that the right man won. He acknowledged the immense heart and dedication displayed by both fighters throughout the match. Clark emphasized the significance of such high-caliber bouts in British boxing, highlighting the pride and respect both athletes earned from their performance. His reaction underscored the respect and admiration within the boxing community for the warriors who step into the ring and give their all. Despite his earlier objections, Eubank Sr. made a surprise appearance midway through the undercard, arriving at the stadium to support his son. His presence electrified the 65,000-strong crowd as fans chanted and expressed their excitement. Nigel Benn, father of Conor Benn, was also present and welcomed Eubank Sr.'s attendance, viewing it as a positive development for the families involved.
Chris Eubank's here as well. Sir, you turned up to support your son. What a night.
Well, you know, I was always going to be here for my son, irrespective of what you thought. I mean, it's a show. So suspense is part of the game. Now, the performance, championship rounds, standing toe-to-toe, the credit I'm going to give to Conor. I told you he was a superior fighter, but he shouldn't be fighting at 160 or 156. He's a 147 fighter. What couldn't he do around the world? He's been destroyed by the people who are handling him, and they have to be brought to account. Do your job. Do your job. Do your job.
It's great to see you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.
Chris Eubank Sr. has strongly warned that his son, Chris Eubank Jr., was tricked into a deal by promoters that prioritized profits over his health and career. He claims they locked him into a demanding 160 pounds weight limit and tacked on a strict rehydration cap, ensuring his body entered the ring in a severely drained state. Senior argues those terms were never about safeguarding his son's long-term well-being, but about manufacturing a spectacle that boosted ticket sales and streaming revenue.
Of which he lost. What couldn't he do at his proper weight, fighting a man of his size? Let me tell you what Junior did. He took away all the sweeties from everyone. They fined him, they blocked him on rehydration, they tricked him on weight. Once you're bringing him down to 160, he's 35 years old. He's a man, he's a big man. He'll do it because he's a warrior, but he shouldn't do it. But he's not going to listen to anyone. If he's not going to listen to me, he's not going to listen to anybody else. So the rematch is, Junior, you have everything, you're rich. You know, those promoters, they hate you because they can never get close to anything that you do. The analogy I will use, they're looking at you like you're a rocket, you've taken off, all the fuel burners and tanks have fallen back to Earth, and you are now in space. They don't have the oxygen to be in the world you live in. They would do anything to be able to live at that atmosphere.
The weight dynamics between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn were a significant factor in their April 26, 2025 bout at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Eubank Jr., a natural middleweight and former super middleweight, typically competes at 160 to 168 pounds. In contrast, Benn, a career welterweight, usually fights at 147 pounds. For this match, Benn moved up 2 weight classes to face Eubank Jr. at the middleweight limit of 160 pounds. To make this unique bout possible, both fighters had to compromise. Eubank Jr. must cut down from his usual fighting weight, which could potentially drain his strength and endurance. Conversely, Benn has to bulk up while maintaining his speed and power, an equally challenging task. The catch weight of 156 pounds, just 1 pound below junior middleweight, is a carefully negotiated middle ground, but it comes with risks for both.
But, you know, if Chris is even 70% of what he was, he's far too big for Benn. If he is really gone and shot, then yeah, he has a very good chance because, you know, he's the guy that can eat comfortably. You know, he doesn't have to pull himself down to make weight. You know, I look at it the same as I look at the, you know, obviously the Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia fight. You know, a lot of people just don't understand. You know, one guy planned not to make weight and one guy was actually working hard to make the weight. It's not a fair fight. And that's without even talking about, you know, the accusations about with the PEDs.
Oh, mate, that'd be legendary. You know, that'd be legendary. I'd love that.
We know that your dad has had 2 very, very famous fights in the 90s with Chris Sr. You're, what, 3 or 4 weight divisions away from Chris Eubank Jr. at the moment, but you are 19 and you will continue to grow and you will continue to put weight on. What chance of you fighting Chris Eubank Jr. at some point in the future?
Oh, mate, that'd be legendary. You know, that'd be legendary. I'd love that. I'd love that. You could, you know, but there's so many obstacles I've got to get first before we can even consider that. Yeah. So far, it's just a fantasy for the British public. You know, but who knows? Who knows what the future holds?
At the official weigh-in, Benn comfortably made weight at 156.4 pounds. Eubank Jr., however, initially weighed in at 160.2 pounds, exceeding the limit by 0.2 pounds. After a second attempt, he registered at 160.05 pounds, still over by half an ounce. As a result, Eubank Jr. was fined £375,000, which was awarded to Benn. According to Eubank Sr., the terms for Benn's fight were not only unfair but also unethical. He has gone as far as to claim that the bout breaks the rules and has strongly implied that it should not move forward unless changes are made. His warnings reflect a deep paternal instinct and a firm belief that no fight is worth jeopardizing a fighter's health.
Oh, wow. We are leaving right now.
Okay, time to jump in the sauna. Now the fun begins.
Or 8 pounds? You better watch out, dreadlocks. You better watch out, because we are come for you. Oh, sorry. It's my mother's tongue again. It comes through. You'd better watch out, because we're not playing. We're real, and we are a terror. The procedure will be parliamentary. Rastafari.
What do you think about Chris Eubank Jr., the intense training under his father's watchful eye? Drop your thoughts below